Phần tiếp theo chúng ta xem về trạm biến áp. Trong trạm biến áp thì có các máy biến áp. Đầu tiên chúng ta sẽ xem về cái nguyên lý làm việc của máy biến áp qua một cái video clip.
Transformers are capable of receiving AC power at one voltage and delivering it at another voltage. In this way, they help achieve better transmission efficiency while transferring the power over longer distances. In this video, we will go through the working and construction of a three-phase transformer by starting from its simplest form. The basic working principle of a transformer is simple: electromagnetic induction. According to this principle, a varying magnetic flux associated with a loop will induce an electromotive force across it. Such a fluctuating magnetic field can easily be produced by a coil and an alternating EMF system. A current carrying conductor produces a magnetic field around it. The magnetic field produced by a coil will be as shown in the figure. With the fluctuating nature of the alternating current, the magnetic field associated with the coil will also fluctuate. This magnetic flux can be effectively linked to a secondary winding with the help of a core made up of ferromagnetic material. This fluctuating magnetic field will induce an EMF in the secondary coils due to electromagnetic induction. Since the turns are arranged in a series, the net EMF induced across the winding will be the sum of the individual EMFs induced in each turn. Since the same magnetic flux is passing through the primary and secondary coils, the EMF per turn for both the primary and secondary coils will be the same. The EMF per turn for the primary coil is related to the applied input voltage as shown. As a result, the induced EMF at the secondary coil is expressed as follows. This simply means that with fewer turns in the secondary than in primary, one can lower the voltage. For the reverse case, one can increase the voltage. But since energy is conserved, the primary and secondary currents have to obey the following relationship. Three-phase transformers use three such single-phase transformers, but with a slightly different coil configuration. Here, the primary and secondary coils sit concentrically. Two more such windings are employed in a three-phase transformer. Transformers with high power ratings generally employ a special kind of winding, known as a disc-type winding, where separate disc windings are connected in series through outer and inner crossovers. The low voltage windings are connected in a delta configuration, and the high voltage windings are connected in a star configuration. Thus, the line voltage further rises to root 3 times at high voltage side. This also means that, from a three-phase step-up transformer, we can draw 4 output wires, 3 phase power wires, and 1 neutral. High voltage insulated bushings are required to bring out the electrical energy. The core of the transformer is made of thin insulated steel laminations. Such steel laminations are stacked together, as shown, to form 3-phase limbs. The purpose of thin laminations is to reduce energy loss due to eddy current formation. The low voltage windings usually sit near the core. Various kinds of energy loss happens while transferring power from the primary to secondary coil. All these energy losses are dissipated as heat. So usually the transformer is immersed in a cooling oil to dissipate the heat. The oil dissipates the heat via natural convection. Oil in the tank will expand as it absorbs the heat. A conservator tank helps to accommodate for this volume change. To know more on different types of transformer cores,
chúng ta xem tiếp một video clip nữa về ở bên trong một cái trạm điện để chúng ta xem thấy là nó có những cái thiết bị bên trong này như thế nào.
This line came from outside to a LA lighting arrestor. You can call it surge arrestor. And from the surge arrestor, this connection goes to a PT, capacitive voltage transformer, CVT. You can call it CVT. And this connection goes to. How can you be sure this is a PT? This connection goes directly to. Look at the connection from this. This is a PT and CVT, and then from this it's connected to this connector. Now this connector is in open position, and from this connector it goes to the CT current transformer. This is the current transformer. ABB make current transformer. This all the equipment is from ABB. Relay, the PT, CVT, this CT, and from this CT the connection goes to the 145 kV circuit breaker. This is 145 kV circuit breaker connected. From this connection it goes to another disconnector, and from this disconnector it goes to the bus, connected to the bus, and again this is another disconnector. This also connected to the bus, and that is another disconnector. This also, and that is another CT. This is a bus coupler basically, and another disconnector. And from here you can see there is a capacitor bank here. We were not sure. This is maybe ABB make capacitor bank. Don't know yet. You can check it. Yes. No, this is ABB make capacitor bank, but this is made by, the installation commissioning is by Energy Pack. And this is transformer. Maybe this is not energized. Those transformers are energized. Those are another transformer. This transformer is 132 to 33 kV. Houston. This is Houston made transformer. You can see from here 132 to 33. 2541 MVA, and
tiếp theo chúng ta sẽ xem những video clip về cái bên trong máy biến áp mà
You may not even notice it anymore, but it's out there. If it weren't for the buzzing, you might have completely forgotten it exists. The transformer. It's the last leg of the journey for electric current before it zips inside your home. Its job? Are you kidding? Try cutting 25,000 volts down to size. That massively high voltage is the only way to get electric current to travel long distances without losing energy. But if you let 25,000 volts into your home, nothing good's gonna happen. It would get pretty ugly. Your appliances would instantly fry. Plus, you'd have to contend with assorted short circuits, fires, and explosions. Which is precisely why the transformer is so handy. The outside of the transformer is not much to look at. The high voltage bushing. It's here that the 25,000 volts arrives. The body of the transformer is just a plain steel cylinder. Finally, there are 3 low wattage bushings. The 120 volts that runs practically all your household appliances comes out here, along with the 240 volts that runs your oven and dryer. So how do you chop 25,000 volts down to 120 and 240 volts? One word: induction. It's fascinating and really simple. Here's how induction works. The current comes into the transformer and shoots into a copper coil. It's the primary coil. That current generates a magnetic field, and if you put a second coil within that magnetic field, an electric current happens in the second coil. That's induction. Now, if the wire is wound around the secondary coil the same number of times as the primary coil, the current induced in the secondary coil would exactly match the current in the primary coil. But if the wire is wound around half as many times, you get half the voltage. It's as simple as that. So the voltage in the secondary coil is controlled, boosted or reduced by the number of times the wire is wound around the coil. The coolest thing about induction is that all this happens without ever having the 2 coils touch each other. You can chalk that up to the science of magnetism. In this model of transformer, magnetism has a few more surprises. The first surprise? The transformer contains exactly 70 liters of oil. The second surprise? The coil's copper wires and aluminum leaves are covered in paper. Surprise number 3? There isn't just one secondary coil near the primary coil. There are 2. Don't worry, we've got it covered. So, why oil? It's an excellent insulator and prevents humidity from getting into the transformer. In a nutshell, it protects against short circuits. Since it doesn't conduct electricity, its job is to insulate the components from each other. No argument here. Paper inside a transformer does seem a little strange. But paper soaks up the oil, allowing it to get in between the transformer's tightly packed components. Yeah, oil insulates the transformer, but it would be nowhere without paper. Let's go over it. The metal leaves of the coils never touch. They're insulated from each other thanks to the oil-soaked paper. No short circuits to worry about. The 25,000 volt current surges through the primary coil, generating a magnetic field in the metallic core surrounding the coils. An electric current is induced in the secondary coils. But why 2 secondary coils? Well, because of the number of times the wire is wrapped around the coil, each one generates 120 volts. 2 means they can be combined to get 240 volts. And all of this without any of these components ever touching each other. Oh, induction. Simple, efficient, safe. Induction. There's only one thing left to explain. That constant buzzing. Time to cash in my fancy word coupon. Magnetostriction. It sounds complicated, but it's super simple. It means the metal's vibrating thanks to the alternating magnetic field caused by 25,000 volts. An alternating magnetic field just means its direction keeps reversing itself. With every direction change, the metal bends and regains its shape over and over again. Now you know what all the buzz is about.